Hello. My name is Nick, and I'm going to be the next school shooter of 2018.
Cruz was a Trump supporter and an aspiring mass murderer. Cruz would murder 17 people and injure 17 others.
All the kids in school will run in fear and hide. From the wrath of my power, they will know who I am.
Those images from inside the high school showing the moments leading up to that deadly rampage and a series of apparent security failures by police and school officials.
Images obtained by ABC station WPLG after the deadly shootings. They are difficult, and they are a reminder of the students and teachers who had to dive under desks and into closets to survive. 17 did not.
First obtained by ABC affiliate WPLG. It shows Cruz was attending a school for emotionally and behaviorally disabled students in 2015. Administrators noting while he was making progress at the alternative school, he was reported to be distracted by inappropriate conversations of his peers if the topic is about guns, people being killed, or the armed forces.
Possible shots fired at Stoneman Douglas High School.
This morning, chilling images and 911 calls from the Parkland Massacre, painting a timeline of terror. 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz seen here loading an AR-15 in the hallway of Stoneman Douglas High School as a frightened freshman walks past. The Sun-Sentinel reporting that according to that freshman, Cruz telling him, "You'd better get out of here, things are going to start getting messy." Moments later, Cruz killing 17 students and staff.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
The release of surveillance videos and audio, all part of a scathing draft report from a Florida State Commission, shining a light on a host of fateful security missteps.
If we can't protect our children in schools, then who can we protect?
Doors unlocked, the gates open, allowing Cruz to get inside undetected.
He got into the 1200 building because that door was unlocked and unstaffed, and that we say that that is a security failure.
This is the tragic story of the Parkland School shooting.
Cruz wanted to be the next school shooter. His motive was that simple.
Alright, so here's the plan. I'm gonna go take an Uber in the afternoon before 2:40. From there, I'll go onto school campus, walk up the stairs, unload my bags, and get my AR and shoot people down at the main courtyard. I'll wait, and people will die. Today is the day that it all begins. The day of my massacre shall begin. All the kids in school will in fear and hide. From the wrath of my power, they will know who I am. I am nothing, I am no one. My life is nothing and meaningless. Everything that I hold dear, I let go beyond your half. Every day I see the world ending another day. I live a lone life, live in seclusion and solitude. I hate everyone and everything. With the power of my AR, you will all know who I am. I had enough of being told what to do and when to do. I had enough of telling me that I'm an idiot and a dumbass. But in real life, you're all the dumbass. You're all stupid and brainwashed by these fucking political government programs. You will all see, you will all know who my name is. My love for you, Angie, will never go away. I hope to see you in the afterlife. And one day or another, you will end and we'll all die.
Take a look at this new cell phone video obtained by Local 10 News, which appears to show accused shooter Nicholas Cruz in a fight. A student tells us Cruz, wearing a white t-shirt, was fighting with several others in the courtyard at Stoneman Douglas High School on September 20th, 2016. The same date school records we cross-checked show Cruz was suspended for fighting.
Student Ariana Lopez says the fight was over a girl Cruz briefly dated.
He would hit her, he would threaten her.
Cruz eventually expelled after the fight, but Lopez says she and her friends had made multiple reports to school officials before the fight, alerting them to alarming behavior from Cruz.
He texted them, threatening them, saying he was going to kill them and their friends and their families, that he was going to use the guns that he owned.
And now the couple who took Cruz into their home last November after his mother died of the flu, breaking their silence.
We had rules, and he followed every rule to the T. And he was very polite. He seemed normal.
James and Kimberly Sneed say they never saw what his former neighbors did, cruelty and killing of animals, or those Instagram posts showing Cruz holding a pistol and another a large knife.
There's no way I'd let anybody in my house if I thought he was torturing animals at all. And if we'd known anything about the Instagram accounts, he wouldn't have even been in our home.
The Sneeds owned guns and knew Cruz had his own guns, but say they were locked away.
Before he moved in, one of the stipulations is he had to get a gun safe. And we got a gun safe on the way back from Lantana from moving his stuff to our house.
Cruz had legally purchased 7 guns, including an AK-47 and the AR-15 allegedly used in the massacre.
From the start, there were red flags. A student's mother said that he also bragged about killing animals.
Did you ever tell anybody about the voice? Never? And what does the voice say to you? Well, what does it tell you to do?
Burn, kill, destroy.
You've learned the Broward Sheriff's Office got over 20 calls about 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz over the last few years. So many former neighbors remember the trouble.
The police were in the driveway a lot.
Now the Department of Children and Families petitioning to release reports they have on Cruz. The public defender confirming Cruz was taking medication but at some point stopped, which should have been a flag. Then this bombshell. Someone called the FBI tip line to warn them about Cruz back on January 5th, giving details about Cruz's guns, his desire to kill people, erratic behavior, and disturbing social media posts. That tip, though, never made it to Miami's FBI field office.
Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel described Cruz's online profiles and accounts as very, very disturbing. They contain pictures and posts of him with a variety of weapons, including long knives, a shotgun, a pistol, and a BB gun. Police said that he held extremist views, social media accounts that were thought to be linked to him containing anti-black and anti-Muslim slurs. YouTube comments linked to him include, quote, "I want to die fighting, killing a shit ton of people," unquote. Threats against police officers and Antifa, an intent to mimic the University of Texas Tower shooting. Cruz was a supporter of Donald Trump, with his personal Instagram showing him wearing a Make America Great Again baseball cap.
From his gun ownership, to his desire to kill people, to the potential of him conducting a school shooting. Perhaps if they'd looked, they would have discovered this footage taken by a former neighbor and said to show Cruz practicing taking shots in his yard last year.
A neighbor said his mother would call the police over to his house to try to talk some sense into him. On February 14th, 2018, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz opened fire on students and staff at Majore Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, killing 17 people and injuring 17 others.
What we're about to show you is incredibly graphic. School shootings have become normalized in the United States. Nothing is being done to protect the children of the United States. America has become a dangerous place for our youth. Cruz was arrested shortly after.
What's going on? What's going on today, bro?
These demons, man.
Demons?
He keeps his head down and just keeps walking in circles, over and over, rinse and repeat until he stops in his tracks and has some words with the guard. Sergeant Raymond Beltran claims he told Nicholas Cruz to stop dragging his sandals. There's no audio to this clip, but we see Cruz flip him the bird, something changes, something happens when he takes a second and then attacks.
Lunges at the sergeant, he hits the sergeant, he pulls the sergeant, throws him onto the floor.
Cruz was charged with assault and battery because of this. The video only goes downhill from there. The two keep fighting as Beltran tries to get the upper hand.
Eventually, during the struggle, attempts to remove a taser that was strapped onto the sergeant's side.
You heard right. In that video, you see Cruz remove the taser. It goes off, but no one's hit. The two get up and keep fighting. No one is seen running in to help. Eventually, Cruz is seen walking away to take a breather before responding to commands and getting down on the ground, placed in cuffs, and taken away. Attorneys for Nicholas Cruz have been fighting to keep this video out of the courts. They claim Beltran has actually been antagonizing their client, calling the sergeant's character into question in court as well. Authorities revealing that he was arrested in March for driving under the influence while on official BSO business.
So he's here from Florida, Broward County Sheriff's Deputy here to pick up a prisoner.
You taking me to jail for it?
I'm taking you to jail, man. I'm taking you to the breathalyzer to a precinct.
Video shows Beltran in Washington State, where he was to transport a prisoner. Authorities say the sergeant had a blood alcohol level nearly twice the legal limit.
You're about to hear shocking details from some of the survivors of the tragedy.
How many times you were shot?
At that time, I didn't know. I just felt like one shot.
Right.
But I got 5 times. So.
Pardon?
5 times.
5 times?
Yes.
Where were you shot?
In my leg, my other leg, and the back, and over here in the RP.
All right. Can you show it to us?
Oh yeah, for sure.
How many surgeries have you had?
14. So everybody was confused. Everybody just get out of the class. There was like a lot of people in the hallway. Then I decided to go out down to the stairwell. That's when I saw the gun and just closed the door and started running.
Okay, then what did you do?
Then he shot me on my left leg, and then I saw this door like half open. Then I closed it, and then I just lay down there, waiting for everything to stop.
X. Gonzalez would deliver an inspiring speech after the massacre.
6 minutes and about 20 seconds. In a little over 6 minutes, 17 of our friends were taken from us, 15 were injured, and everyone, absolutely everyone, in the Douglas community was forever altered. Everyone who was there understands. Everyone who has been touched by the cold grip of gun violence understands. For us, long, tearful, chaotic hours in the scorching afternoon sun were spent not knowing. No one understood the extent of what had happened. No one could believe that there were bodies in that building waiting to be identified for over a day. No one knew that the people who were missing had stopped breathing long before any of us had even known that a code red had been called. No one could comprehend the devastating aftermath or how far this would reach or where this would go. For those who still can't comprehend because they refuse to, I'll tell you where it went. Right into the ground, 6 feet deep. 6 minutes and 20 seconds with an AR-15, and my friend Carmen would never complain to me about piano practice. Aaron Feist would never call Kira Miss Sunshine. Alex Schachter would never walk into school with his brother Ryan. Scott Beagle would never joke around with Cameron at camp. Helen Ramsey would never hang out after school with Max. Gina Montalto would never wave to her friend Liam at lunch. Joaquin Oliver would never play basketball with Sam or Dylan. Elena Petty would never. Kara Lugren would never. Chris Hickson would never. Luke Hoyer would never. Marquine Duque Aguiano would never. Peter Wang would never. Alyssa Al-Hadaf would never. Jamie Guttenberg would never. Meadow Pollock would never. Fight for your lives before it's someone else's job.
It's unfortunate that this tragedy has happened. We can only use this tragedy to make the world a better place. 17 people were robbed of their futures. Such tragedy should never be forgotten. The gun violence needs to come to an end.
It's that people think that I'm an actor, but I mean, I don't have time to care about that. I have to keep going.
A Florida school shooting survivor opens up to CBS 2 after he became the target of a conspiracy theory.
You haven't taken a single bill for mental health care or gun control and passed it.
17-year-old David Hogg is one of several Stoneman Douglas students leading the charge against gun violence after 17 of his classmates and teachers were killed. He's been interviewed by CBS News and other major networks multiple times.
I need to make these people's voices heard so that they don't die in vain.
But now some people are questioning his motives. David was visiting family and friends in Los Angeles when he recorded a confrontation between one of his friends and a Redondo Beach lifeguard.
He said, "I didn't know it was a crime to put your board on the trash can."
There's now a growing social media backlash against him, some even claiming he's an actor, a pawn for the left wing. One person tweeted, "Wow, this kid David Hogg somehow find his way in front of a camera from coast to coast, from California to Florida. David Hogg must be building his fake news resume credentials." And another, "These kids were all given talking points. David Hogg, you sicken me." David says he doesn't understand the resentment.
I witnessed this event. Why are you guys doing this to me? I'm trying to be as well-spoken as possible because these politicians won't.
David's father is former FBI, but he claims, despite some speculation, his dad has nothing to do with his views.
I am not fed any lines. My father is a retired FBI agent. I'm not working with him or anybody else on this. I'm speaking from my heart.
Is there anything else that either side wishes to add to the record or present at this time?
Cruz would enter a guilty plea. He would make a series of strange remarks.
I am very sorry for what I did, and I have to live with it every day. And that if I were to get a second chance, I will do everything in my power to try to help others. And I am doing this for you, and I do not care if you do not believe me.
Cruz shifted the blame.
I hate drugs, and I believe this country would do better if everyone would stop smoking marijuana and doing all these drugs and causing racism and violence out in the streets. I'm sorry, and I can't even watch TV anymore. And I'm trying my best to maintain my composure, and I just want you to know I'm really sorry. And I hope you give me a chance to try to help others if I believe it's your decision.
Cruz has developed a belief that he will be freed from prison. Cruz is a cold-blooded killer and should serve out the rest of his life behind bars.